Good morning and welcome to Irreverent Knits. We are back. It's been a crazy, I don't know, month, 2 months.
I think it's been 2 or 3 months.
10 years. I mean, when the last time we actually were able to do this here, we have been inundated, as has much of our area coverage here, with terrible storms. So, we've
5 days, no power. It was band camp showers.
I was like, do you want to come over? No, we're good. Do you want to go to the shop? Yeah. I'm like, okay, go charge.
I'd come to the shop and I would charge everything, curl
Check
my hair.
internet, because I'm like, we were really lucky. My neighborhood, we had some trees down. We had a few things to pick up, but we had a whole incident with flying squirrels a couple of years ago where we had to trim everything down and back. So our palm trees are like, so we were fine, thankfully. And the guy next door had a giant pine tree, and he finally got permission in the springtime to get it cut. So
he's good.
We were lucky because others were not quite as fortunate.
There were trees down all around us.
Do you have wires like the telephone wires? Are they above ground for
They're
you?
Above ground.
Yeah, because ours are thankfully in my neighborhood are underground, so
that's
that makes it much easier. So
we did okay because we had bought the lights to put underneath the cabinets, but they wouldn't stay up. They wouldn't stick. And we didn't want to drill holes.
Right.
So we had those, and Gordon put the batteries in them, and they were great because you could pop it and make it different colors. So we would put it on a soft shade. And then
and you were like all romantical.
Yeah. I was about ready to go naked because I was so hot. But then we also I did pumpkins out front, and you take the plastic pumpkins and you carve a hole in the bottom.
Yeah.
And then you stick down inside the solar lights.
Yeah.
So we just took those apart and put those in the window during the day, and then we had them at night. He would put them on top of the lamps, and we had plenty of light.
That's good.
I couldn't knit, but
that's good. Well, thankfully it was only 5 days.
I know. The last night I said, I made the mistake of looking at the thermostat, and I shouldn't have, because we have so many windows in the house.
Right.
They were all open, and we did have a good breeze, but I looked at the thermostat the last day because I was this close to sleeping naked, and I didn't care what neighbors walked by the windows and saw me.
You are like, it's fine, just don't have a fire, because otherwise you're going to see a whole lot of this going on. So we have been trying to help our friends in the North Asheville. That area got decimated. I mean, the poor people there. I feel so badly. So what we have been doing here is talking to you guys, saying, hey, if you have any knit goods, warm sweaters,
I brought
hats,
a big bag
scarves,
of stuff today. I cleaned out my closet.
We donated 5 bags yesterday to go north with people that were bringing stuff up. So, but if you're from the north and you live down here in the low country and you have extra stuff that you're like, I made this and I love this, but I'm never going to wear it again, this is a really good place.
Yeah.
This is a good time.
I have 4 friends, and I finally got a hold of them because that's the area I go to every year for SAF. SAF is canceled because that's where they're using.
They're using the whole thing.
Yeah, they're using it for shelter and staging areas or whatever.
Yeah,
but it's just heartbreaking up there because that area is so pretty.
Well, and they're still digging out and finding cars that are covered in mud and people in them.
I read about a family of 4 that was washed away.
Yeah,
it was just like
so sad. Just so sad.
They were engaged. They were going to get married November 6th.
I saw that story. But anyway, so our thoughts are with them, of course, and whatever we can do on our end to help out.
Of course, down there with Milton and all.
Yeah. So I'm just thankful that it didn't turn, because that's what happened with Helene, was that it turned, and that's what happened with Asheville. But thankfully Milton stayed south, and my friends that are down there, nobody was injured.
Yeah. Well, Helene was a 2 when it went by us.
Yeah.
It was still a 2.
Yeah. Yeah. That was rough. But we're climbing out of that. We're here. So that's one of the things that we've been going on. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So first and foremost, always get your mammogram because it helps save lives.
It does help because guess what? I get mine every August, and this year they found something, but it's very small, and I'm having a lumpectomy November 1st, but they said because you get it every year at the same time, we caught it very early, very small, very treatable. So I'm not worried about it. Don't you be worried about it, but do your mammogram.
Okay. And I am someone that I'm just like, my worrying is my other job. Like, because I don't have enough on my plate. I like to worry a lot about everything. So I am worried, but she's not, so I'm not allowed to be worried. So
yeah,
I'm just
out and
I'm
it'll be
like,
fine.
okay, I'm not going to talk about it, but everything good. Okay.
No,
good.
they really, it's an A1. It's stage A1, which is the lowest you can be. So
Yeah. Well, thankfully you caught it early. Caught it mammogram. So, Luann, thank you for joining us. We're glad you're here. Okay. So, Knitted Knockers program. We have been participating with them for a couple years now. We are a local drop off, and we also carry some of the yarns. Now, if you want to participate in the Knitted Knockers program, what this is we make prostheses for people that have undergone mastectomies and either opted not to have surgery or were not able to get surgery or for whatever reason. And this is just one way that they can, use this in their bras so that, they're kind of back, it fills the space that without having to buy all new clothes and things like that. So these are free to anyone that needs them. And we work with them as a drop-off location. So if you would like to participate in that, knittedknockers.org, I believe,
I think it's .org
is their site because it is a charity. So Knitted Knockers, look it up. There are very specific patterns. There is a crochet pattern and a knitting pattern available, and they are very specific about their yarn. So we carry a couple of them. We carry the Bamboo Pop and a couple neutral colors because they're always looking for neutral colors made, and also Modern Cotton DK. I have several of those, and I can always order if there's a color that you're looking for and I don't carry it because just, for space purposes, and but I can always order. So never let that stop you from coming in to purchase these items. I can always order and get them here within a week. And in that respect, I am on the cover of the Hilton Head Sun, and it's a story I wrote. Here it is. And so this is about the Knitted Knockers program here. You can go to blufftonsun.com and look up Knitted Knockers, and the story is on there. And as a result of me writing this story, because it is a little cheeky, because it's just how I roll, I'm now working with Bluffton Sun. I'm going to be writing, my first column comes out this week, a humor column. And we went round and round of what to call it because it's not going to be about knitting. It's, it's just kind of a life in foibles. And the names I kept coming up with were just not appropriate, but they were funny, but just not appropriate. So I decided to name it after what people ask my life is about. I always say it's chaos on fire. So that's what the column is going to be called. Chaos on Fire. So I'll let you, I'll send some links out on social media once it's ready to go this week. My first story is about Halloween. So that's what's been going on our end. So other than that, children, my daughter getting ready for college. So it's been running around like lunatics. And
that's the way senior year goes.
Pay for this. Did you buy this? Did you order this? And how much for that? And okay, we need that. Oh God. Okay. Where do I fill that up? So that's been September and October so far. So anyway, so let's talk about Judy's been working on some absolutely fabulous things. Do you want to start with your yarn or do you want to start with your
knitting? I'll start with the yarn if you want.
Well, they're your yarns, girl. You talk about them.
Well, go ahead. This is...
So we have anybody that comes into town. We have our local dyer, which is Judy, and this is Maggie Loves Yarn is her brand. These do get snagged pretty much as soon as they come in. I don't even have times often to take a picture.
Last week. What day was it? Last Thursday. I brought in 3 and 2 were gone in an hour.
I didn't even have a chance to upload them into the system. So so if they're not in the system and you're looking for them, you can always call the shop and see if they're still available, or we can place an order. Yeah, I'll place an order for it. But this one is called Bluffton Sunrise. They are very beautiful sunrises here, and they're very distinct in this area. And there's also the Sunset, which has a lot of purples and blues in it. It's absolutely just a beautiful place to watch the sunset.
So it's beautiful the other night.
Sunrise
too.
And sunset, absolutely gorgeous. And then this one's Bluffton Farmers Market. So, and they do only sell food at the farmers market. So those are things that...
those are new colorways. Those 3 are... and Rose Hill is a new colorway.
Rose Hill is... got this
Rose Hill Plantation.
Yep. So
is a pre-Civil War plantation.
Beautiful.
Here.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I've taken the tour of it.
Have you? I haven't yet.
Well, see, they closed it down.
Yeah, I haven't taken. I think they were selling the mansion at one point.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. So, anyways, in light of the storms lately, I had Judy do some more hurricane warnings because this is what we've been in chaos with hurricanes. So Judy said this is either be people will want to remember these,
or they won't.
Or they won't. So it'll either sell really well and quickly, or not so much.
Don't touch them.
Don't stay away. This one I really love. This one is called Lavender Fields. I think it speaks for itself here with the colors going on. Yeah. And then there's another Shrimp and Knits. So here,
there's a couple of those.
Yep,
so.
got a couple of these in. So Shrimp and Knits. These are the new colorways that are here today. We've also got some other local dyed or local made stuff. I'm going to put the table together now as we're getting closer to the holiday season. We can talk about
And I can always
those.
make more. Like I said, I have the recipes.
Yep, she's got the recipe.
Boy, the recipes are written all over and wet and everything else.
Oh, yeah.
And then I finished Sister Cow. You saw it when I was working on it.
All right, so let's grab Sister Cowl. It is absolutely gorgeous. We are going to have a class coming up in January on that. So here is Sister Cowl.
It came out gorgeous.
Yeah, it's really
gorgeous.
Just a beautiful, beautiful.
And the fact that it's so cool here already. Well, I do know that in Ohio, parts of Ohio last night had snow. Well, so I think I may be taking that with me when I go up to Ohio.
Yeah, probably. And then the inside. I mean, it's just beautiful all around. Yeah, I was talking to my best friend.
Oh, don't show that. That's
don't show that. Sorry.
Don't show that.
That part doesn't exist.
Kitchener did not go.
That part doesn't exist. So just forget that. Rewind.
That will be in the back. And then I finished Gavstrick. And let me tell you about Gavstrick. It's a horrible pattern to try and do on your own because the second half just isn't there. You have to kind of figure it out. But this is the second one I've done. And I just, now that I figured it out, if you want to do it, I'm going to do a class on it. It is just gorgeous. So many ways to play with colors. And I never do the same pattern twice. And I'm thinking about doing a third one just because it's
you do love this
much fun.
Yeah, you do love this one. So, and it came out
great.
The
first one I gave away.
Yeah, it came out great. So this will put on the calendar.
Just stunning to do.
Yeah,
it's fun. And once I can explain to you how you do the decrease, because what you do is you start down here. And this is the one where I took it off and then put it back on. And then you keep increasing till you get here. Now you've got to decrease. So where you were creating parallelograms, you got to get rid of them.
Sounds like a lot of math.
Once it just didn't translate well. It's a Japanese pattern. Isiger. So it just didn't translate well. And even when they said, you've got to do better, she tried to do better. And I read and I read everybody's projects and I kind of messed around with it on the first one. This one, I had the hang of it. Yeah. And it just went.
Yeah. It's just beautiful.
It was one where I could put down for several days and not pick it up and worry about it.
That's always a good project.
Yeah. And it just, all it was you had to, there's a sequence, that's either knit 13 or purl 15, and you either, depending on which sequence you're on, you either knit 2 together or you make one, and sometimes it's knit 2 together through the back. And once you get to that point where you start decreasing, you can figure it out. So I didn't really follow the pattern. I would decrease and then figure out where I was in the sequence and just pick that up and went, and it was a lot easier.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It came out. I'm into shawls right now. I don't know why. Festive shawl is a lot of fun. It's a very pretty. It almost looks like the Japanese sashiko.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
I don't think I'll show you.
So here is the beginning of it, and the pattern in the beginning.
And there's a little bit of a designer element there.
There was, because I was going to say there were some anomalies in the pattern that took a little bit of wrapping your brain around for.
It wasn't it's one of those. What?
Yeah.
What?
But it's really beautiful as it's coming together.
Let me show you come on. Let me pull it up. If I can pull it up. This is the pattern.
Yeah, it's really.
And it has a neat edge stitch to it where you have to carry a yarn up the side. What they have you do, instead of just wrap it and carry it, you put the yarns. The next yarn that I'm going to do is the white one.
Okay.
So you slip the first stitch, bring that white up and around to the front, and then put it back on and slip it back on. So it makes a really almost woven edge.
That's neat.
It's kind of neat.
Yeah.
I almost started to do it with Gavstrick, and I went, no, I'm not going to change it up in the middle of it. Right. But yeah, I'm really, really liking this. I'm into blue and white all of a sudden, but I like this shawl. And of course I haven't worked on it too much. Diversa is almost ready for sleeves. And really,
Oh,
truly,
this
you
one's
got to
coming out
come in
great.
and get
Yeah,
the colors.
This is a great
This
pattern.
is all knitting for Olive. It's just a basket weave. So I kind of worked on it last night while watching The Voice. Oh my God. The Voice this year has Michael Bublé as and Snoop Dogg.
Judge, right?
And Snoop Dogg's
probably
a
hilarious,
hoot
right?
anyways. But I did not know that Michael Bublé was such a card. He is so ornery.
Is he?
Yes.
That's so funny.
He is so funny. And in not a mean way.
Right.
Just so funny. Because Gwen Stefani's going on and on about why she wants this guy on his team. He goes, I want to be on your team. Let me be on Team Gwen. But this is how this is.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Yeah, I'm at the top, and this is the front. So I kind of am afraid it's going to be big, but the more I look at it, I'm kind of hoping it is going to be big because I think then I'm going to make it into a cardigan.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And it would be adorable as a cardigan.
So you're going to steek it?
I would.
Really?
Yeah.
It would be adorable as a cardigan. It's really cute.
That's what I'm thinking because I can't tell whether it's going to be too big or not. You know, I do this and it's like, okay, but I can't tell.
Yeah. No, it's definitely.
So that's the other one. And the other one we found was really cute. And you and I discussed it, was called, here, go ahead and pull that out and I'll show that ribbing. That ribbing is so cute.
It's super pretty. So here is.
It's called Beach Huts.
Let me just get this a little closer so you can see it.
It's.
I haven't turned the light on yet.
Oh,
there we are.
It's so cute.
Yeah, this one's really adorable.
And I have a gradated yarn that's called Bridesmaid Season because it goes from blue to green to pink to purple to yellow.
Yeah.
So I'm using that, and there's enough because it was a double blank. So this will be there'll be enough yarn on this that I can do it. You can do it up as a kit.
Terrific, because I definitely will want to use that.
And I'm just using Knitting for Olive white. Yeah, the ribbing was a cable.
Yeah, I love it.
It was really kind of fun to do.
Yeah.
I wish they had done it. It would be really prettier and a heavier weight.
Yeah.
Where you would really see it.
Yeah.
Because this is done as fingering, but I'm half tempted to do that on the bottom of a sweater.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I really like it.
It's really, really pretty.
That's all I've been doing because, I couldn't knit in the dark for 5 days.
Well, I've just been so chaotic. I haven't had, and I'm in this slump with knitting. It feels like everything I'm making gets screwed up. And I'm like I'll try to fix this one. So I've been working on this stupid shawl since Jesus was a boy. And I was like, I'm now at the top. So I put this down, picked it back up, put this back down. So this one is Stephen West Briornate. So there is the brioche element in it, and it's every other row. Okay. And I'm using Madeline Tosh for this one. It's called Clue Board from 1984 is the name of this Mad Tosh color here. And it's really fun pashmina weight. So it's coming together nicely. And I used a couple others just to play with color here. So this is more of a silky, this is Mayu. And this one is Fiber Spates, which I just got some more Fiber Spates in, which is this. It's just absolutely gorgeous.
That is a pretty shade of blue.
It is silk and merino. So it's 45% silk. So it has a lovely drape. It doesn't show the stitches as well on this because they just don't pop because of the darkness of it. But it's really a fun pattern. And we are going to have a class on it. But for whatever reason, I just couldn't get this last bit of brioche to come together. And so I put it, and then I wrap it wrong, and then I take it all out, and then I would have this done, and then I do that, and then I dropped this. I was like, oh, so finally I was like, I'm just going to make up my own thing. So I made up my own thing for the end.
You did it, Judy. She pulled a Judy.
So this is what it's ending with. I don't even know what that is, but
that's okay.
It's
a Judy.
I'm done with it. So now I just needed to, I need to weave in my ends because I'm over it at this point. So that one we've got going on because I
have a lot of shells that could be a lot bigger, except I got tired.
I guess, yeah. I'm just like, I can't do another minute of this shawl. It absolutely is robbing me of my will to live because I had this one, which I just loved doing. And this was another Stephen West. It's the Pierre shawl. And I did this, I don't know, maybe a couple years ago at this point. And I mostly did it to showcase this yarn, which is a kit from Wonderland Yarns. And then I threw some of their unicorn in there to give it a little bit of sparkle. And I love this one, and it sells this yarn beautifully as a result. But I don't know, for whatever reason with this one, I loved every inch of it until this last section. So that one wasn't working out for me. And then I finally I had this sweater that I've been working on for a long time, and the pattern was wrong, and I kept pulling it. Pattern was wrong. Finally, I was like, forget it. And it was 90% done. I mean, the sleeves were attached. I was about up to here, and the back of the pattern just was not coming together. So they sent errata, and I'm like, I knew it. I knew I was wrong. And so I started to like, okay, I'll just pull down to where the sleeves attach because I'll know exactly where I am in the pattern. And then I'm like, oh, but there's this little thing here. And oh, now I pulled down to now that one's. So I frogged the whole darn thing. So now I'm just this much into it.
You know, I've always been leery. Yeah, I especially when Vogue had their magazine, they never edited right. And I very rarely ever tried a pattern that was brand new right out of a Vogue magazine.
Yeah, well,
and same thing on Ravelry. I look to see how many people do it. And if they're the only ones that have done it, then they didn't even have test knitters.
Right. And it's so
and for a sweater, that's dangerous.
Yeah. So I'm in the place in my knitting that I can at least rewrite the pattern if I need to. I don't really want to do that because I've got 7 billion other things on my plate. Then I just needed to do stuff that was easy. So I had a knitting win because I just felt like everything I was doing was falling apart. So I made this hat the other day for my daughter. She's big time into Halloween. So this is just a simple free pattern from Universal Yarns. It's called Scaredy Hat. Scaredy Hat. I added the extra stripes up top because my daughter is Beetlejuice obsessed. So, and has been since she was 6. So that's cute free pattern, Universal Yarns. It's called Scaredy Hat. I still need to block it. And then I told my daughter I would make her a bat. So here's the bat. I have to put eyes on it still. I was just kind of putting the nose on this morning. And this was another pattern that was a free pattern, but then it just wasn't adding up. They didn't use enough increases to come up for the head. So then it was like this looked like a little like sausage. I'm like, what is going on with this? So that was a frog and a half later. Changed yarns, changed needles, changed the pattern. I got a bat. So that was what's going on there. I did finish, and I can't remember if I've shown this or not.
I don't think you have.
But I made my daughter stole this as soon as I started. This is Anchor's shirt. This is Petite Knits.
It's been very popular.
Pattern. It has been very, very popular. We actually have a class coming up on it, and it's going to be a class on how to make something that fits. Because so often I hear people like, oh, I have this great sweater and I use this beautiful yarn. I spent all this time and it doesn't fit. I'm like, well, we've got to teach you how to make a sweater that fits. So we are going to have a class on this to start off with swatches and talk about how to make the swatch that fits your pattern. And then we're going to have a class coming up on Patty Lyons's newest book. It is a workbook on her knitting bag of tricks. So we are going to have a class with this workbook and work out swatches and
because even if you've knitted forever, I mean, you start off with the very first part, the exercises. She has you make a bunch of swatches, but then she talks about what you do with each swatch and how it differs. Mm-hmm. And she has you try a different one, and it's just a workbook. You can add pictures. You can figure out how to find, this whole bit on how figuring out gauge. I'm like, no, I have knit tricks.
There could be math involved, but we use knit tricks.
I'm not doing that because I have an app.
Yeah.
There's an app for that. And then, your different swatches. And then it goes into how to figure out a sweater and the different ways. And then my favorite part is the stickers.
Oh, stickers. It's totally worth it now. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Look at all the stickers. They're so cute.
So, done this. Like well done.
But then it has all, things to fill out. It's worth the money. And we're going to take the time to do the swatches and have you study your swatches and see, what's going on.
What you can do to make sure that you're making something that is going to fit the pattern. So, so we've got that coming up. I'm also, I had to, jump through some hoops to get this, work with the publisher to get this book. But anyway, that should be coming soon to the shop. So that's
you might want to pre-order.
Well, we'll get it squared away. We're good. But
no, I don't mean you. I mean people if they want it.
Oh yeah. We'll put that in. I got to put it in the system, but it's coming. So we also have this is make a linen stitch. So So this is if you are, newer to knitting or not. This pattern is absolutely it's a super fun, basic pattern. Robin is coming on board. She is going to be teaching this class coming up in a few weeks in November. So we have that to look forward to. I have finally found the pattern that I wrote down because I made this little bear hoodie.
It's so cute.
It is this awesome lawn alpaca. It is from Earth Yarns, and it is so soft and squishy. I'm sending this up to my best friend's granddaughter, who is going to be just the cutest little muffin that I've ever seen. So anyway, but I wrote the pattern myself because it's just easy. You actually just start from the bottom, and then when you
so you need a test knitter.
I need a test knitter. I need a test knitter. I know.
PSA.
I know. I will get some test knitters. So if you would like to test knit, let me know. But so I have to finish writing it. But anyway, so you just knit, and then when you get to the end, you just sew the top. So it's a little conical, but it works. I mean, you could always pinch it in, and sew it so it's a little more rounded in the back too. But anyway, so we've got that coming up here. I got these because I've often had people that want to use heavier wool to felt and make some slippers. And so Laine du Nord has this absolutely cool little slipper kit. So the yarn comes just as this, and it's 2 slippers. And as you pull, then I cut a little bit early because I was making a small one because I'm sure my daughter will claim this. And there's different patterns that are available. They're free. So if you buy this at the shop, I'll give you one of the patterns. I've already printed them out. This one just had you wash it and not dry it.
Stuff it with paper. I've done that.
Yeah, I did that. I mostly wanted the toe to be
I've done it that
rounded
way, and then I've done it where you're in the dryer and you take it out every 10 minutes.
I feel like I should have done that. Like I wanted it to be more felted.
And if you're worried about it being slippery on the bottom, puffy paint. Buy a thing of puffy paint and put the dots.
But then how are you going to use them to clean when you slide around your house?
Well, you want to slide around your house to clean, or do you want to slide around the house and be in with the hospital with a broken leg?
I mean,
you can do one or
each.
You can have them.
All right.
That's what Swiffers are for. But if you're making them for little ones and you don't want them to slip, puffy paint.
Yep.
And put the dots.
That's a great idea. They also have bottoms that you can purchase and sew on.
I've done them, but I don't like the way it looks.
Yeah.
Puffy paint. I've done a lot for my grandkids and did the puffy paint.
Go with puffy paint on these, but they have other colors too. I just like this one to see how it sells. And so if there's something that you're looking for, I can always order, as I always say. But
I sold several of them the other day when we had
they're fun.
The great chaotic Saturday.
Yeah, we had a record-breaking Saturday last
Oh my God, there were 2 classes going on in here. I was trying to help somebody behind the register. At one point, she was helping. She was getting needles down for people.
And I'm like, are you okay?
I wish I could have helped more.
She's like, are you? I'm like, Judy, are you okay? I can't talk. I'm like, oh, okay.
We had 12 women come in from Somerville, the Flowertown Knitting Guild. We absolutely love them. They want us to come up and do a class.
Yeah,
and we will. We'll go up one night.
They
were great ladies. They were so much fun.
We had kids come down. This woman brought 3 of her kids down from Moncks Corner, South Carolina. And, it's about maybe hour and a half drive.
Yeah, just a little bit because isn't Moncks Corner like northwest of Charleston, and it takes about 70 minutes to get to Charleston.
Yeah. So it's doable. And she's like, would you come up and do a birthday party? I'm like, yes. So these are things we're willing to travel for the right price. We'll do anything just about,
Yeah.
So we've got that going on here. All right, what else are we working on? So we have a Noro trunk show that's in at the shop, and some of these they have a couple of blankets are being featured in this. So this one is Timeless Noro Knit Blankets is the book that goes along with it. It is quasi hardcover here, but has some really cute different blankets.
Got mine in here.
So I just pulled this one, but we do have a couple here at the shop to show. This one just is really fun. And again, another cool way to showcase.
Noro blankets are fun. I've done one. I'm looking to see if it's in here.
Yeah. So these are really fun, and they are in Tarja. So you don't need to be worrying about carrying your yarn for that. You just knit in all your ends at the end and just know this is the back. So, and you can always put a piece of fabric over it if you're too OCD like me. But yeah, this is a really cool pattern, but come and check it out. So we've got these, and they sent along this sample, and I put it on the mannequin and didn't think much about it because, of course, I'm always running around like a crazy person. And then I started to look at it and I thought, oh, I want to make this for a knit along. So this is going to be our January knit along. It is just like a little jacket because it's just, it's got a little flare at the bottom, kind of kicks out a little bit. It's more fitted. So I like that, kind of comes in and then comes down and is forgiving in that sense. But it looks like it's
with the queen.
for tea with the queen, yes. But it looks like it's knit on the bias by the way that, and I haven't looked at this pattern at all. In fact, we can look at it in 1 second because I did pull it. And so they're using
side to side with increases.
Yep.
As you can see the increases right here.
Yep. So, but it's got this cute little bit of cabling on the side, and it's got a cute, kind of, I don't know, some really, I don't know what kind of edging this is. Is it a picot edging? Kind of looks like it.
Yep.
So really, it's just adorable. So
I'm looking to see if they started in the back and did half.
Let me see. I did grab.
You do half and go this way and half and go that way.
The A-line cardigan, Noro's A-line cardigan.
I don't see where it switches.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's see. The cardigan is constructed by first knitting the vertical front bands. These fronts are worked by picking up stitches along the band lengths.
Yeah, it is.
And then knit to the side seams using short rows for the flare shaping. So I'm excited about this. We are going to do this as knit along, and if you want to participate, I will give you 10% off the yarn when we get to that, probably January. I got to get through this semester of teaching, so we got that going on. So this is going to be fun. So you can check that out. Also, we just added to our collection the doodle kits. So these doodle kits are super adorable, and if you aren't familiar with them, they are card decks of patterns. And so what you do is you pick out whatever your theme is. Like this one's got winter, which is of course now we're getting even cooler here.
This is your basic. I think I have the basic.
Yep. And it's just random, like, kind of summer patterns. I have ocean 2.
I have basic and the autumn. But the thing of it is, too, they just came out with a book.
Yeah.
So you can see what it looks like. You can color them in or whatever. I have the book ordered. It has not been released yet. It's supposed to come in next Monday, I think.
Nice.
I'll get it. So
this is the haunted doodle deck. So I've got the haunted
Arctic. One. Look at the little polar bear.
Yep. Garden for my gardening friends.
And this would be fun. I've talked about my friendship one before, my round robin, where we passed it on around.
Yeah.
This would be so much easier than what we did, which was trying to find all the different patterns you wanted. Mm-hmm. You could include the deck in your box if you're going to do it,
right?
And then whoever gets your pattern, your cowl next, draws one of the cards and does it, and then puts it
on the back or whatever,
takes
side.
It out,
yeah.
So then they don't use it again. It would be a really fun way to do it.
This one's going to be mine. The summer doodle card deck.
Summer is cute.
So the octopus, they have fish, they have. But anyway, so we've got
I like
these.
The garden.
They also do have this printable how to doodle with yarn. So they do have an instruction on their website, and it just talks about choose your theme and then choose your patterns.
Robin and I are going to do a class with it,
mm-hmm.
and where we'll show you how to work with it and do it. And we're going to start, and I'm ready to start mine and just haven't done it.
Yeah, well, we'll figure that out next.
Why?
No, I don't know why. It's not like but they do talk about your color palettes, and they give you a place to kind of plan your project out. This, I believe, would be probably the book will take the place of this one.
I think so too. I'm excited to see the book.
So I've got to order those, just putting it on my very, very lengthy to-do list. So we've got that going on. We've got a couple of books that keep flying out of the shelves here. These are Easy Knit Dishcloths and Easy Crochet Dishcloths. So when you're starting any of these crafts, dishcloths are clutch to learn how to make because they're typically made with something that's a little thicker and a little more durable. So you're not dealing with a lot of splitty yarn. You're dealing with simple patterns, and then you're learning how to, read a pattern and how to do certain things if you're going from the side, how to increase and decrease.
And you know what? If you really want to make something as a gift, because I've done this before. I did it with the linen eucalyptus washcloth,
Yeah.
And what I did was I made those because they come up really quick, and but yet I wanted to give them as Christmas gifts. And then I bought little tea candles, a little bath bombs, and put it in a cute little bowl. And so they were hostess gifts because, like, we went to my daughter-in-law's mother's house for a like it was a late Thanksgiving, early Christmas dinner. And I took her one of those and she thought it was so cute.
Yeah.
Just find a really cute little bowl or whatever. And I put those in, wrapped it up, and it was adorable. And she had a homemade little washcloth. And so, if you're thinking, I'd love to do stuff and be able to, give them out.
Those are fun. Those are fun. We also just got in several of these. It's absolutely beautiful. I don't know. You can't tell, but it's this leather. It's just.
Is it moleskin or leather?
I don't know.
Leather. Is it leather?
Leather. It is 12 months of crafting. It's a weekly planner built for crafters. And so it's got some tips, but it's just absolutely gorgeous. So if you're somebody that has 7,000 notebooks because, oh my God, I love notebooks and I don't know what I'm going to do with all these notebooks, but I have to have this notebook. This is for you because it's actually useful for working on your crafts. So
before Knit Companion, that's what I used.
Yeah.
Right out of.
Write all the details down on your project and what you're working on and those types of things. So this is a really nice, and it's a nice holiday gift because it's just a beautiful from Lane. So they just put these out, the 2025 Knitters Year. So we've got that. And also, since we're starting back into sweater weather, I got a couple of these Coco Knits sweater worksheet journals. So again, because, as you start to, play with your pattern a little bit, things always change when I'm like, oh, oops, I added an extra row here, or now I dropped a stitch, but I add, so I always write my notes down. And sometimes I change needles and I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to change over to the bigger one because I was done with the, the edging or whatever. And I'm like, oops.
And when you're teaching a class, you've got to. That's why I have that one notebook that I use that my friend sent me.
Yeah.
That you can put each one in.
Yeah.
But that I might want to include when I start doing the sleeves on Diversa.
But yeah, so it just gives you a good place to fill out all of your information too, so that when you track it, if you want to make it down the road, or if someone says, because I'll say to Judy, I love this. What did you do here? I don't know. I just did it. I'm like, oh,
but I'm better at writing all that down. I am better at writing all that down.
So we do have these. So, with the holiday season coming up, there's a lot of kind of cool things out there for the knitter or for yourself, because we deserve to also be quite spoiled. We have some more in. I've been carrying fiber spates since I opened because I just love their yarn. But we started last year with this scrumptious 4-ply. And this is the one I just showed you with the dark blue, wherever it went. It is absolutely luxurious. This is not a good yarn. Oh yeah, here it is. That's this one. Not a good yarn if you want something to really hold, like a cable or something, lace, something that you just want the stiffness of the yarn to give you that pattern. This is a gorgeous, soft pattern. It's got incredible drape, but it's not going to hold stitches because the silk is just too soft and luxurious. It's just going to be like,
it's 45% silk.
So
it's a lot of silk.
Yeah, they're beautiful to play with. And so I have some. I was doing a blues and greens. So initially it was blues and greens like this. I still have some of these in stock. I just increased. I had this one, but I added it back because it sold out immediately. Just added this color here.
That purple is gorgeous.
Mulberry. This one is called Starry Night. This red is new to us. This is my color. Here is cherry. So then we have this one here, which is ultramarine. This color, like I said, I had ordered it recently for somebody here at the shop. This one is called Sea Foam. And then I added pink because, it's just fun and it's beautiful. So, and this pink is called Baby Pink. So we got that going on here. And so it does take a little bit usually for me to order it and get here. It's a couple weeks, but not a bad turnaround. So one of the other things that I have some wonderful customers here that do a lot of traveling. They, pop in and out while they're in town, or they come here, once a year or whatever. So I have this girl that comes in and she's just this lovely young woman. She's trying to get a job acting at Disney that they're opening in Tokyo. So
really?
Yeah. So don't ask me her name. I'm so bad with names. I can barely remember yours.
Thanks.
Yeah, well, I'm just terrible with. I can barely remember my own. So anyway, but she's this lovely girl, and she's doing those Helen Moo cardigans and the sweaters. So if you don't follow Helen Moo on Instagram, you will just wish that you're like, why is this person? She looks absolutely amazing. She's this gorgeous young thing that she travels all the way like around Norway and these places. And she used to wear all these sweaters that her grandmother had knit her because of course it's freaking freezing up there. And so she started her own, and the designs are really funky and bright and big patterns and stuff like that. But the pictures on her site are, I mean, on her Instagram are stunning. So anyways, this is the yarn that she uses. And so the colors really pop and they work, you know, really nice together. But if you ordered them online thinking, oh, I definitely want this yarn. No, feel that.
Ooh.
No.
I thought it would be really soft.
No,
it's really stiff.
No, it's crunchy almost.
Now, does she use it in the whole thing, or
yeah.
does she use it as color work?
No, she uses, well, she does a lot of color work in it, but it's through the whole, I mean, she goes to this and this and a white one in the sweater that
it would be very warm.
It would be very warm.
Very warm. And
absolutely.
Probably
you would definitely
cuts the dampness.
Probably.
It would
probably,
would
probably is the self-cleaning kind of woolliness
it would
to
really stop the dampness, because that's what it is. It's such, you know that from living in Rhode Island. It's a wet cold.
Yeah.
And it just
damp.
goes through you.
But if you're buying something online like this and you're thinking, oh, look at the halo on it, it just looks like it's going to be so soft. It's not. So you would definitely need to wear like a turtleneck underneath it to not be like the whole time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no. So if you are interested in her patterns, and they are fun and they're really funky, the colors are kind of Stephen West like, they're really bright and just really cool. This is why you go to your local yarn store, because we can find yarns that are almost the same color and what they're looking for, but not with the scratchiness that will come with this. So
you could get the same colors with, not Knitting for Olive. What's the other one over there? The Aura, AURA.
Aura. That's
Aura. Yeah.
The Aura yarns, but we have stuff that's, but we can work with things. So the good thing about the Knitting for Olive is you can work in different weights. So you could take a worsted weight and throw one of their mohairs in it and get the same effect. And not have that abrasive scratchiness. This is like a Brillo pad almost. Ugh. So yeah,
it's
gorgeous.
Soft at all.
It is gorgeous.
And it doesn't soften up as you
play with it now, because I've been kind of hoping it would. Maybe once you block it, but this is going to be one of these patterns that you would not want to, you definitely can't wash and dry it in here. It says hand wash, but I wouldn't even soak this, because I think that you would damage the fibers. I think that I would spray it in a Eucalan, Eucalan in a bottle.
Steamed it.
You could probably steam kill it, but there's a.
I don't mean steam kill it, just steam it to fluff it.
Oh, you could definitely do that.
So you could probably
because it does give that
in hair conditioner to soften it up.
Yeah,
a lot of people do that.
Yeah,
and then as it's drying, steam it, and you might
that might soften it up, but
that's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work. It's a commitment.
That's a lot of.
It's a commitment. So, but if you bought this online and you sent to you, you're like, oh god, it's so pretty, but wearing it, there are ways around it. I mean, there are things you can do, but do your research. So this is when you go on Ravelry. This is where you talk to people that work in yarn shops. So you and find out like, okay, here's what I'm looking for. How do I make that happen? And don't get like married to a certain brand of yarn or a certain exact color, because they change, they go out of style. Like I had somebody who wants to order Vivo, and I went in and I did a drop ship, and they just told me, yeah, we discontinued that. I'm like, oh God. So,
well, you have to understand, unless they're using a knitting machine, it takes a while to make that pattern. And then if it's in a magazine or whatever, it takes another 3 to 6 months for it to be published.
Yeah.
And then you're talking almost a year out.
Yep.
You might be able to find it. You might not. I used to have that problem with my quilt shop.
Oh yeah,
of course. I want that fabric.
Well, it doesn't exist anymore.
No,
so
it doesn't.
Let's get something similar colors. But that's the whole thing. And so if you're willing to play with different things, and most people are. Most people come in and go, okay, well, tell me what you're looking for, and then we'll figure out how to get there.
Yep.
And sometimes my vision is not their vision, and vice versa. But we eventually find whatever their vision is. So
when I was working at Archivers, this was a great way, and somebody said it. I was actually doing a return. And the woman, I said, well, okay, so, you always have to ask, what's the reason for returning it? And she goes, it didn't meet my expectations. And I love that. And I use that a lot. I'll say, well, what are your expectations for this yarn? Well, I expect it to do this, just like the picture. And I go, it's not going to do that.
Right.
It's not ever going to do that because it's not that kind of yarn.
Right.
You know, I did that with the one lady that was down visiting because she wanted this. She didn't want to spend a lot of money. And this is what she wanted to make. And finally I said, the yarn that you want is not going to do that sweater.
Right. She wanted Red Heart. Red Heart is not going to have the same thing as
money. I said, you might save money, but you won't save all that time you put into it.
Right.
And you're not going to be happy with it.
Right.
So she listened.
Yeah.
And her husband's like, listen to her.
Right.
And she bought, you know, she didn't go real expensive, but she bought the
vintage.
But
you can make a great sweater with vintage.
I've made several.
So have I. And it's great. And vintage is great. As you're getting into the season of giving gifts, I mean, vintage, you know, you get 219 yards. It's $13 a skein.
Yeah,
and it's machine washable and dryable. We have comfort. And it's about that yardage, a little bit more, I think. But it's, what is it, $9 a skein here? Yeah, $9 a skein, and you get 210 yards. So, I mean, there's ways around it. I mean, I don't have stuff that's only $48, as one woman came in and said. I'm like, yes, I do have some yarns that are $48, but there's reasons that they're $48.
But she, because I said, okay, so listen to what I'm saying.
I'm going to go grab that yarn. Hold on 1 second.
I said, listen to what I'm saying, you know, and I explained that to her, and she did. And she got some really, well, it's going to work out for her. It's going to work out. So, do you want me to sing, dance?
Yes, I would like if you could do a lyrical dance, please.
Oh, interpretive dance.
Yes, that would be excellent. So as I was talking about doing this knit along, if you know the yarn that you're looking for something for this one, the sweater that I showed a little bit ago, which is the A-line cardigan, you know, there is, and I have one person that's just like, I just don't prefer to work with Nora. I just don't like the way it feels when I work with it. I'm like, okay, because you know, there's all different reasons we do certain things. And so she's going to go with concentric. So look at these gorgeous colors that concentric has. And I sold out of the blue one. That's the dark blues. This is 100% baby alpaca. And it is, you could just buy one and just be like, it's fine. It's my emotional support yarn.
You just lay on it.
You're just going to snuggle it and feel good about your choices. And what's cool about this is it comes out and it is in 4 strands. And so as you continue to work with the yarn, one strand changes, then a second strand changes, and so really changes your color gradually as you're working on your project. But baby alpaca is expensive. And if you've never watched how they process, first time they only have one baby alpaca shearing and the rest, they're all adult alpacas. And so it doesn't have that softness that the baby fur hair has. Okay. But the way they have to process it that's a lot of work. But you know, so you could get something that's a little better, or you could do something like this. We got Poema cashmere. So if you again want something bougie for the holidays, I only pulled 2 of them because I was afraid Judy was going to start, you know, having a baton twirl or something like that.
Yeah, didn't bring the fire baton.
Oh man. So, but these are really soft and luxurious. So, you know, and you can always just, you know, for gifts, give a gift certificate or one skein of something. And then if they don't use it, then they can exchange it or put it towards something else.
Or if you're making it for yourself,
do it.
Give yourself the very best.
You know, I mean, that's not going to be something that you can whip out in a weekend.
No.
So anyway, we got this, and you know,
and like we've always said, I want to make, you know, people come in all the time and they say, I want to make a sweater, but I don't know what to do. You know, same thing. I suggest make a baby sweater. Doesn't matter if you have anybody to give it to or not, but you learn all the basics of how to put together a sweater without a big expense. And then you feel more confident when you start your own. Just make a little baby sweater.
Well, we have a customer, Denise,
put it on your dog.
Is an amazing knitter. Okay.
Denise is.
She is an amazing knitter. And she did this. This is Anka Strick's garden cardigan. And it's just got some real cool design in here. But she came to me and
neat construction.
Yeah, it's just a really neat pattern overall. And I asked her if I could display it for a little while. This is so pretty. And so she's letting me borrow it. But this is absolutely gorgeous. But she came in and she said, here's what I'm looking for. Here's the yarn. And we ended up, she went with, this is Knitting for Olive. And she went with Flamingo is the color that she chose for both the yarn and the merino and the mohair.
Oh, the mohair is
yep.
just gorgeous. This is pretty with the mohair on it.
It's beautiful. It's just beautiful. So yeah, this is Anka Strick's garden cardigan. But Yeah. So
That's
that's
a neat construction because look at the back neck.
yeah. You know what? Here's the one thing though, is I've made a sweater with the back neck like that. And to me, I'm fussy with I'm one that pulls all my labels out and stuff like that. So to me, I'd be a little,
I never wear any labels either.
So that's it's kind of right here, which it's cool pattern, but that I'd have to probably adjust for me because I know how I am. Just make it a little bit bigger and then start that.
This would be interesting because I would have to do the short rows to give the shaping.
Shoulders, yeah. But yeah, that's
if you don't
look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous?
It is. It's really pretty. So, and that color's gorgeous on her too.
She lets me steal stuff all the time, bless her heart. So she made this one. This is the Escher shawl. And she used these two colors from Road to China. I have to put a Road to China order in because my colors have been all sold out and I've been lazy about it. But this is still probably my favorite yarn. But isn't this one neat?
It's so cool. I have to tell a funny story about Denise because I had to talk to her yesterday on the phone. I'm making armchair covers for her sofa and her chair. And we measured, and I called her yesterday and I said, Denise, I can't, the piece of fabric she gave me, I said, I can't get two that big. I said, do you want me to make them as big as I possibly can? And she goes, yeah. And I said, unless you only sit at one side, I can make that one the full size and the other one shorter. She goes, no, it just depends on which arm I want to. Because Maggie only lets me sit at one spot. Yeah, she gets two cushions. I get one.
Right.
On our sofa.
As well you should. So.
Yes. And I'm lucky to get that sometimes. So we were cracking up. I said, well, it just depends. She goes, no, because if my left arm's tired, then I go and sit with here. So she goes, I need them both the same size. I was like, okay, not a problem. I'll have them for you Thursday.
I only have one place I sit on the couch. The only time I don't sit in my one spot is like this morning because the dog puked in my spot. So I wasn't going to sit there because it was disgusting.
Because I have my like that's a floor lamp, and I have my little table here with everything, and then I have my stool with everything on it, and I get this much room to put my feet because I have everything on it. It's like
we just got in a sample that I think I made it live last night. I have to check. Stella Lighting. So Stella Lighting is known for making these really great lights for people that have vision issues or working on crafts. Now, my husband, I'm pretty sure he was a bat in a past life because he gets so irritated if any lights are on at all. He likes, and I would like it like the airport. Like I'd like every light on.
I know, me too.
I want to see
I
this.
gotta have my light on. Even when I'm sewing, I have a little one in my room. I have a portable one I take with me. And then I have my big floor lamp.
This one is great. It's this big extending one. It sits on, I have it here on the desk here. And so what we're doing with those is they sent me a sample. If you want to check it out, it's great. I mean, it really is great. It has 10 different functions that you can use to make it brighter or lighter and change the kind of mood lighting behind it, or so if it's too harsh on your eyes. But it's really good and powerful because I'm blind as a bat. I wear contacts that are bifocal and I still have to wear cheaters. So I'm a hot mess, but so we've got that going on. But it's what I'm doing is instead of stocking a bunch of them, then you'll just order it and I'll have them ship it to you. But they're $249, which I know seems pricey, but it's
well, if it's the same kind of bulb that the outline
is,
you don't have to replace it.
That's what this is. You don't have to replace your lamp. I mean, it's really.
I know, and I have the neck one, and it was so funny when we had the power out for 5 days. Gordon goes, "Don't you have a little neck one?" I went, oh yeah, and then I had to hunt for it and found it and had it on, and it helped.
I have a neck one too because my husband again is a bat, and the only time I'm able to knit by the end of my chaos is at night in front of TV, and so he watches usually something he whatever he's feeling like, and I'm like I'm fine as long as I'm working on my knitting. So but he won't let me have the light on because the TV is crazy. I can see this back here. This on the TV.
I have found that, because I'm always complaining about night scenes.
Right.
I can't see it, but if I turn off my outline, I went, oh, I can see what's going on.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, so it's a glare.
I can see the killer now.
I'm like,
thank you.
I'm like, okay, so he bought me a headlamp. I'm like, you're an ass.
I'm not wearing
a headlamp. I'm like, I'm not wearing this headlamp, but I did wear the headlamp for a little while so I could see because again, I need bright lights.
I like the neck one because you can adjust it with different.
I have two different neck ones. I have one that's pink. The only thing I don't like about it is after a while, it's got the battery is in the back of the neck here, and so while it is one of those that you can adjust, like
mine's chargeable.
Mine is chargeable too, but it's where the
Gretchen sent it to me. Scarlett sent it to me.
Yeah. So I use that one. but it works better. I bought one that I was like, oh, it's thin in the neck. So I'm like, maybe that will solve it. And when I charge it, it's really bright for about 10 minutes. And then it's like,
Oh,
I'm
really?
like, yeah. So I'm like, this crap. So I don't even want to tell you which one that one is because it's garbage. Yeah. But anyway, lights. So that would be a nice gift too. So this would like one that, my daughter could take to college. It's really good bright light. You can dim it. Like I said, with 10 different things. Stella 2 it's a Stella lighting company, and Stella 2 is the one that I've got. So if that's something for the holidays, we have lots of great ideas. We've got a lot of cool notions coming in. I'm so excited. I have like 5 different companies that I'm working with now. They're coming in. So we've got a bunch of kits. We've got great stuff. These, I know I've worn them before here, but these are really cool earrings. We have a local artist that makes them, and they're all out of old knitting needles. So the
pretty.
Susan
They're
Bates
so cool.
metal ones, she gifted me these, and I wear them all the time because they're just so fun. But they're knitting needles, so they'd be great for people in your life. The site, I haven't quite figured out how to get my website the way I want it to, where you can see exactly which number goes with what. I have zero IT experience, so everything that is on my website is just me. Let's try this. Does this work here? So right now the calendar is, I haven't had 2 seconds to enter it. Sorry, I'm trying to get to that. And all the classes, some will go into their own little homes when I have the drop down, but some are like, we're putting everything in this one, and I have no idea why. So
it's kind of like how we used to do yearbook. Why is this not working? I don't know. It worked on the other page, know.
Well, that was too with formatting my daughter's. You have to put a resume in now with the college stuff. And so formatting a resume, well, I don't know what the hell. I wish they'd have like, here's this template everybody uses on the face of the earth.
Really. And
this is how you enter it in, because then you put here and then you hit tab and this one goes way over there. And then you try to go back and then it doesn't have, I'm like, ah! So,
it happens even when I'm doing the labels.
Oh yeah. So a few while I'm talking about local stuff too. We have this Bags by Julie. She lives here. She's up in Beaufort, and we had a lovely yarn store up there called Coastal Knitting that unfortunately the owner went back to Wisconsin, and she bought a horse, and she's really excited about it. She was lovely. So Julie came down from there now, and so we sell her
hands. There's a variety of them. They're cute.
This one I really like. It's kind of hard, so you can put your yarns just smack dab in them, and you're
using color work. That's perfect.
Yeah. So she's got those. She has little needle cases. This one's got some nice
fun fabrics.
Yes. This one's just like a little. It almost looks like a pencil case, but needle smaller hooks. These I got, and so on my sad note of why my month has been absolute shit show is my baby died. My Ralphie, who was my shop dog.
You heard Ralphie many times snorting, and me going, "Stop licking my leg."
Yeah, and I'm still a mess. Yeah, I'm still a mess. But he had back issues. We adopted him. That will be 2 years ago in January, and we knew he had degenerative disc disease, and he had gone through surgery.
You gave him 2 great years. Just remember that. You gave him 2 great years.
And I'm not a crier, but I have been an absolute mess. I mean, an absolute mess. But so we don't even know what happened. He was okay. He had a little bit of back pain, and then he went to bed that night, and he got up, and he couldn't move, and we took him, and he was paralyzed, and he just looked at us like, I'm in so much pain. And even they had him on ketamine, they had him on morphine. Nothing was taking the pain away.
Know. You can tell when they look at you. We did the same thing with Duke, and our friends are going through it with their little dog right now. And she just did surgery down at the Savannah Hospital.
Yeah.
And because she had said, "What do you know about the Savannah Animal Hospital?" And I said, "I don't know about the animal hospital," because she's real careful about where she takes things.
Yeah.
And I said, "But the rehab center next door," because our Duke, when we had the Treen Walker Coonhound Duke, he had degenerative hip.
Yeah.
And we took him down there, and they did the water therapy, and it gave him another 2 years of life. I mean, good life, before he finally had a stroke, and that was it. But I said they work in conjunction with each other.
Yeah.
And I had seen them bring in awful dogs that had been hit by cars and everything else, and they worked with them, and those dogs were happy, and they got more life out of them. So I said, I think you'll be pleased.
Well, we got 9 months more with
Yeah,
him
you
out
did.
of his surgery last day after Christmas.
And that's the greatest love you can give a dog or a cat or any animal, is to make that decision for them, because they can't tell you themselves.
We
And
knew.
somebody told me that, and
We
it's
knew,
true.
and it
That's
was
the greatest
awful.
love you can give.
It was all, I mean, we didn't have a choice. And even the doctor's like, you guys have done everything you could possibly, more than most people would do.
If he was
'cause,
in that much pain, poor baby.
he was just, we tried overnight. We tried to see maybe he can get.
Yeah, I know.
No.
I saw it in Duke's eyes when he looked at me the last day, because
Yeah.
we had literally lived on the floor with him for a week.
No,
And
that
it
was
like,
anyway. So not to end on a terrible note, but that's part of why I've just been not in a good place. Not in a good place. But anyway, so holidays are coming up. We've got a lot of great things. We've got some easy projects coming up that you can look at. We've got gnomes, we've got books, we've got all kinds of things coming up. I'm going to try to get
things
this
to wet your whistle if you want to try something a little harder.
and and we're here for you. We've got Open Knit. It is so much fun. We have really, I mean, I know I say this, but we have the best group of women there.
They're all my family.
Funny.
Now. They are so.
Oh my
much
God,
fun.
they are part of the reason I do this as hard as some of these days can be, between my other job and family and life. And
we love it when you come in and tell us where you're from, and we have the best time
Yeah.
with you. Like the Flower Town, we love you.
Yeah.
Come back.
Yeah.
Another lady drove down by herself because she used to summer when she was little with her grandparents on Hilton Head. She drove down from Columbia one day, and she had a great time. Bought a lot of yarn and said, I'll be back. And the 3 ladies from Chicago, you were a hoot.
Yep.
You were so funny. I had such a good time with you.
Yep. So I love our locals. I love that you guys are part of our family, and I love everyone that visits us. And I do always, I hope you all know how much I appreciate your support.
Yep. And come down as a girls' trip. There are so many good restaurants.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a great place to visit, especially now that things are getting a little bit cooler here. So it's not quite so oppressive. And clearly they're getting cooler up north. Like I said earlier, my best friend was driving to see her mother in snow in upstate New York.
I think they had it in Ohio.
Yeah. So anyway,
around Cleveland, they had snow.
We are wrapping up for today, but thank you so much for joining us. If you happen to like what we're saying and what we're doing here, please share. Please also join our family on social media. I'm all across, Shrimp and Knits, across all the social media. And this is Irreverent Knits. And thank you so much for spending your time with us. We know it's valuable, and we do appreciate it. And see us again soon. Thank you.
Bye.